Everybody new tapping into Rumble, I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, we make fun of, we laugh at shit. We're going to be checking out Trump today. He's doing an interview with Nigel Farage over in Scotland at his beautiful resort, which you'll get to see here in a minute. Let me know what you guys think about it along the way. We do encourage people to chat. If you're on Rumble and you don't know how to chat, stop being retarded. Figure it out, people. If you're on a phone, it says live chat. If you're on a computer, figure it out. If you're on an Android, get rid of your Android. But if you don't get rid of your Android, you can go to the browser and do Rumble that way, and then you're able to live chat. I did hear a rumor that if you update your Android app, you are able to live chat now. I don't know this because I'm not a retard with an Android app or Android phone. But, all right, I'll shut up. We're going to get into this. Let's get things started. We're going to try not to sweat. Everybody new tapping in. My apologies for the big shiny forehead. It's hot in this room today. The AC's struggling. We're trying. We're trying. All right, let's go. Let's go, folks.
2014, it's been hugely improved. It's now rated as the #1 golf course in the whole of Britain, Ireland, and the rest of Europe. And it is a truly extraordinary place. I've been very, very happy to be staying here. It's the most beautiful hotel, possibly now the best hotel, certainly one of the best hotels in Scotland. Donald Trump, it's the first time he's been here in 5 years. I asked him how much he'd missed it, and I think the answer is hugely. Going into politics and current affairs comes at a cost. But he sat down with us this afternoon.
Now, before he gets too far into this, one thing you can't knock Trump for is you've never seen a picture of any of his properties and them not be pristine. I'm talking the background from a selfie of anyone that's ever visited any one of them ever. He keeps his, he's on point, bro. He's on point. He's going to get there. You see this bush over here to the side? It's kind of slightly droopy. Yeah, someone's getting fired. Someone's getting fired. Slipey. Oh, you guys can't see the bush. Hold on. Oh, that's not the way to do it. What are we doing? There you go. Okay, bush over in the corner here. You see it's slightly droopy? Yep, someone's getting fired for the slightly droopy bush. But all his properties are pristine, folks. How did Nigel manage to get this interview? That is an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I wonder if they speak on that at all during it. I wonder if they do.
Exclusively with me for GB News. And as ever, of course, Trump doesn't disappoint. I asked him what he thought about King Charles and the coronation on Saturday.
I think it's going to be a great day, and I think that they will do a great job.
Yeah.
And he loves the country. And really, I got to know him quite well, and he loves the country, really loves the country, and he loved his mother.
I also asked him about the ongoing war in Ukraine. What could he do if he was president of the USA?
So if I were president, and I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours.
I asked him, why was Joe Biden not coming to the coronation, and what did he think Biden would be doing?
And when you have somebody that's going to be sleeping instead of coming to the coronation as president of the United States, I think that's a bad thing.
So here it is, Farage, the Trump interview, exclusively here on GB News. Hello.
This might be a good one.
How was the golf?
It might be a good one, folks.
It's great.
It's
Nice to see
fantastic.
you.
Everything about it's
Get your
beautiful.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, good, lovely people.
Oh, boy, did you see the wedding?
I know,
How
I know,
beautiful
I
is
know,
that?
I know. I was chatting with them last night. Yeah, very nice people.
Why did no one tell Arizona drivers about this new rule?
If you are currently insured,
Because we didn't
drive
give a
less
shit.
than 50
you
miles a
lying
day.
ass retard, get out of here.
You ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Thank you for sitting down with me and GB News. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It's been
hell is-
a long friendship we've had, and respect.
All right, I promise I'm going to stop pausing it so much and we're going to be able to watch some of this. But what the fuck is GB News? Has anybody heard of this ever until today? Have we ever heard of GB News before? I don't think we have.
For each other, and I appreciate it. That's
No,
very
well,
nice.
we're delighted. And what a place. This is unbelievable. I mean, you said when you arrived, this was your mother's home country, as indeed it was. And I know she spoke Gaelic. And it's funny because we had Joe Biden the other week telling us how Irish she was. But there's a lot of Scot in Donald Trump, isn't there?
Well, my mother loved this country, and she would come back.
All right, this pan in Photoshop is the answer to the question down in the chat. How did Nigel manage to get this interview? This is a Trump commercial for his resort. That's what this is. He's getting a free commercial for his resort.
Back every year during the summer, usually with one of my sisters. And she just loved Scotland, and she respected the Queen greatly. Loved and respected the Queen. And so we've had a tremendous relationship to Scotland.
But when you come here, I mean, this golf course, you've turned this golf course around. It's now the #1 course in the whole of Britain and Europe.
Yeah.
Got this magnificent hotel. You must have missed this place. You haven't been for a couple of years.
Well, I've
5
been
years
so
now.
busy politically that I haven't. It's been a few years, and we spent a tremendous amount of money. It was done with a great architect, great golf architect, recommended by Peter Dawson of the Royal NH. I said, give me the best one, and Martin Hawtrey. And he's a fabulous guy, a fabulous man. And he did, what he does is this type of course, and he really did a great job. And, you know, we had a lot to do with it also. We have very strong ideas. I have very powerful ideas on golf and what it should be.
Well, I hear that yesterday you were out thinking how the course could be improved even further.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make a couple of little minor adjustments, but it's fantastic. Everybody wants to see the Open Championship here. The players, it's their favorite course. It's the #1 rated in Europe. In some lists, it's the #1 rated anywhere in the world. And they want to have.
There we go. Number 2 reason for the interview. Trump's trying to get the U.S. Open to play here. But isn't it crazy? He shows up, hasn't been there in 5 years. He plays the course. Yeah, I think we're going to tweak a few things. I got powerful ideas over here, folks. Powerful ideas.
The Open Championship back here. I would have thought that Sturgeon would have wanted that and pressed it, but she's got her own agenda.
She's gone. Are you pleased to see the back of her?
Well, I must tell you, we had I didn't know her. I don't know if I ever met her. I'm not sure that I ever met her. I dealt with Alex Salmond. I got along great with him, actually, until the windmills started coming all over Scotland. They said, you're hurting Scotland. You're destroying your environment, frankly. The windmills are, I think, a great disturbance to this country and to a lot of other countries. Very expensive energy. But I had a very good relationship with him early on. When I was getting my approvals, I got all the approvals for Aberdeen, which is incredible. And we built an incredible place in Aberdeen also, and spent a lot of time on Turnberry. And Turnberry has been a tremendous success, as you probably know.
No, I can see that. Well, she's gone, and I have to say that she wanted to make Scotland the most progressive country in the world.
Yeah.
And we had this extraordinary case, this Isla Bryson case, a double rapist who decides that suddenly, you know, she's going to be a woman and get sent to a women's prison, and Scotland just says, we've had enough of this. So it does kind of show the pendulum can swing back, can't it?
Well, I think a lot of countries have had enough of it, what's going on, and I know that case, and I thought it was terrible, and I guess...
Doesn't quite swing fast enough, though, does it?
It helped ruin her career. I think she had other reasons also. But I just felt she didn't love Scotland. I mean, she would not treat... Somebody comes in, spends a lot of money. Remember Sean Connery said, let him build his bloody golf course. And after that, I got my approvals. It was incredible. Sean Connery, who was great. You know, he was a great guy, tough guy.
Well, the new guy, I do wonder, because Humza Yousaf, the new First Minister, was asked about your trip. He said, I don't think he'll be rushing to meet me. I would find it difficult, I have to say, to meet him without raising the significance of concerns I have and the remarks he's made in the past. What he's referring to is Sadiq Khan. He says that your comments about Sadiq are anti-Muslim.
Yeah, well, not anti-Muslim. I have friends that are Muslim and great friends, and frankly, leaders of countries that are Muslim, and I've had great relationships. If you look at Saudi Arabia and many other countries, great relationships. So I don't exactly know what he's talking about, but, you know, I've kept a very safe country. When I was president, we kept a very, very safe country and did a really great job. But I don't know him. I hope he's going to do a great job, and I'm sure he's going to be a lot better than Sturgeon.
Well, let's hope so. No,
let's hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? No, because actually people, I'm meeting in this hotel, meeting Scottish people, men and women in business, and they're all kind of saying the same thing, that Scotland's become a very uncompetitive place to do business.
Well, they just said, I just walked by and there was a big crowd for a wedding, a beautiful wedding, incredible people, and they were not happy with the people that were running Scotland, let's put it that way. They said, run for First Minister, sir, run for First Minister. Anyway,
well, I think you may have other things on your agenda on that score.
But, you know, I just hope the new man is going to do a much better job than she did. She was very, very anti-money coming in, very anti-jobs, if you look at it. And I don't know her. I mean, I literally don't know her. But somebody that invests a lot of money in Scotland, you should cherish those people, because I created tremendous jobs. Turnberry is a tremendous success now. We employ, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people, and this whole area is based around Turnberry. And it's been it's been a joy to do it. It's a piece of art. It's the greatest. I mean, again, probably the greatest course anywhere in the world. And we made it. We kept it, and we really improved. You know, you have to upgrade and everything else, and we did it to the nth degree, and it's been an honor to do it. But we should have support from the government, not always have to fight the guy. It was always a fight with her.
Well, let's see where Scotland goes. Yeah. But it's 16 years ago today that the SNP first won a majority in the Scottish Parliament. Yeah. I just wonder, with Sturgeon gone, with the opinion polls changing, does it look to you like Scotland's now going to stay part of the United Kingdom?
I think they should.
Yeah.
I think they should. I think they should all work together. And, you know, there's a great love of the Queen. It's very interesting. The Queen kept it together. This woman was amazing. I got to know her very well over the last couple of years that I was president. And we had events together. We had one of the most beautiful events that I've ever attended. And I sat with her for hours. And also, your new queen is going to be terrific. She has a fantastic personality, and Charles is a wonderful guy.
For those that can't see, Trevor jumping in the chat on YouTube, I appreciate you, my guys. Says Trump gave us low gas prices, low food prices, low restaurant prices, and he even knows his own name. Those seem like multiple reasons for Trump 2024. Because he wins, bro. He wins. That's what he does.
I got to know him very well.
No, it's a very big week for them. It really is.
It's a big week, and it's going to be a great week, and he'll be doing a fantastic job. I believe that.
The last time we spoke on GB News, it was in fact the 8th of September. It was the day that the Queen died, and I could see you were very clearly moved by meeting this woman, and as you say, your mother was a huge fan.
She was.
Of the Queen. Now, coronation this Saturday. It's our first one for almost exactly 70 years. So it's a huge event. We've got over 100 heads of state from around the world are going to be in Westminster Abbey. If you were still in the White House, would you have gone to the coronation?
Well, I would. I think it's a very important event. I think it's a great thing. A lot of people talk about the monarchy. Should you have it? Should you not? I think it's a fantastic thing. It holds your country together largely. And I think he's going to be a fantastic representative as king and queen. She'll do a great job. She's got a wonderful personality. I got to know her very well also, sitting at dinners for long periods of time. And I got to know her very well. And it's going to be, I think they'll do a great job together.
Now, Mr. Biden's not coming. What does that say about his relationship with the UK? Because we get the feeling here, he's very, very pro-Ireland. He completely ignores the fact that Biden is, in fact, an English name. He's got English relatives. He doesn't seem to like us very much.
I don't think he can do it physically, actually. I think that it's hard for him to do it physically. I think getting over here for him, he's got a lot of things going, and a lot of strange things happen. But certainly he should be here as our representative of our country. I was surprised when I heard that he wasn't coming. You would think he would be here. He'll be in Delaware, where he spends a lot of time. He spent a lot of time there during the election.
In the bunker.
So I don't know, but I was very surprised to see. I think it's very disrespectful for him not to be.
Yeah, he's sending the First Lady, but he's not going to be here. But somebody else who's not coming, of course, is Meghan. Meghan is not coming. Harry's coming. We understand it's a complete in, out, like within 2 hours after the service, he'll be gone. But I kind of think maybe we're better off without Meghan coming.
Well, I think that she has been very disrespectful to the Queen, frankly, even during that time. I mean, how can you be disrespectful to the Queen? The Queen was incredible for years, for decades and decades. She never made a mistake. Think of it. With all of the people that you watch them and you see they make lots of mistakes, if they're famous people or not famous people. But I don't know. I can never think of a mistake she made. She was never controversial. When I was with her, I tell the story. They said, "Who was your favorite president?" "Oh, they were all great. They were all great." I said, "Who? But did you like Ronald Reagan the best?" "Oh, I liked them all very much." "What about Richard Nixon?" "Oh, I thought he was wonderful." Then I said, "Who was your favorite prime minister?" And she said, "Just fabulous people, every one of them. But wasn't it Winston Churchill?" "Oh, I liked him very much." And I'm saying to myself, you know, this is so smart because there's like no controversy. She went through years and years and decades without controversy and just did a great job. You cannot be disrespectful to her. And I think Meghan was very disrespectful to her. Very, very disrespectful.
Oh, I think, you know, up until her death, I think she was the most popular human being in the world.
Yeah.
I think the respect she commanded.
I would say that that is true.
Throughout the Commonwealth, America, elsewhere. She was amazing. But it's a very tough act to follow, someone like that, for Charles. And he has his own views, his own way of doing things. He's going to modernise the service a little bit. And, you know, that's the man that he is. And we know the causes that he believes in. But it is a huge challenge, both for him and Camilla. And I just would like you to say your message.
I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do a great job. I got to know him very well. He does love the environment, I will tell you. He's an environmentalist to the nth degree, and that's okay.
He likes windmills.
He does. Well, so we can have a little disagreement. It's not that I'm against. I think they're extremely inefficient. I think they really hurt the environment. You know, when you look at them going all over the oceans and all over the plains, meaning the beautiful plains and vistas and everything else, and then you see these things, and, you know, when you look at them in 10 years and they're all rotted out and rusted, and then you have to buy new ones, and the new ones never come, and then they shut them off, and they're sitting there rotting. And look, I'm not a fan, and it's very expensive, the most expensive form of energy, and they don't even make it if you don't subsidize them. You don't have to subsidize energy. So,
but we're saving the planet.
We're not saving the planet with windmills. If anything, you're hurting the planet, and you're certainly killing the birds.
Well,
have you ever looked under a windmill? Have you ever gone to? You want to see a cemetery for birds? Just walk under a windmill someday. It's the most incredible thing. They have the greatest press going. Whoever does their public relations has done a great job. And these environmentalists, they talk about wind, but it's really very dirty. And, you know, when you make these things, which are all made in China, almost all of them, when you look at the fumes, if you're a believer in this going up, you can never make up for the cost of that. And then, as you know, you're not allowed to bury the blades because they're made of a certain hydrocarbon that's so dirty that if you bury them, it's going to destroy the earth, according to these people.
I promise you.
So they don't know what to do with them.
You haven't got to convince me. I'm not a fan of them either.
No, it's a we have a phenomena in our country. I don't know.
You don't got to tell me about it.
The whales are now all of a sudden washing up.
I've read some of that, yeah. I mean,
many times, like times 15, whales are coming up. We never had this before. And the wind farms seem to be driving them on shore. So I don't know what that's all about, but that's certainly not good.
Thus far, none at Turnberry.
Well, we don't have them at Turnberry.
You've got them at Aberdeen.
We take care of our, take care of our whales.
There's none here. Well, let's hope that for Charles and Camilla it's a really big day, and it's a very, very important day. And I think you're right. I think the monarchy will survive in this country, but it'll have to change.
I think it's going to be a great day, and I think that they will do a great job.
Yeah.
And he loves the country. And really, I got to know him quite well, and he loves the country, really loves the country, and he loved his mother. And that's why I thought she was treated so disrespectfully by Meghan, and just no reason to do that. I was actually surprised that Harry was invited, to be honest.
I think at the end of the day, even after a fallout, it's still his son, isn't it?
Can't go? Do this. to clear out stuck poop
Okay,
fast.
that
Fiber
was
helps you
quite
poop,
the
right? Nope.
intro
According to New York
picture to a commercial. Holy
Well,
shit.
I don't know. Look, I mean, different types of people, but I think it was very nice that they invited him, but I was a little surprised. He said some terrible things when you see what he said, and the book was just...
Horrible. Yeah.
To me, it was horrible.
Yeah, no, it was. No, it really, really was. Now, the other thing that's changed since you were last here, and a lot's changed, doesn't it? We've got a new monarch, we've got a new First Minister in Scotland. Boris Johnson, you had great hope, I think, for your relationship with Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. How do you think it all ended?
I liked him so much. I still like him, but he really went a little bit on the liberal side. I mean, he all of a sudden became an environmentalist, and I'm talking about probably in a negative way, too much. Look, we all want to protect the environment. Nobody does more than I do. I do a lot of jobs. Look at this. This was done environmentally so incredible. Turnberry, Aberdeen. But something happened. He changed. And a wonderful guy. He's a friend of mine. I don't know whether or not he'll be able to make a comeback. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I know you had your own events with him.
Yeah.
You had an interesting relationship with him. I mean, I watched that relationship.
Yeah.
You sort of got along, and
I helped him a lot.
Eventually, you got a little bit tired of it.
Yeah,
Just
I know. I helped him enormously.
No,
I helped
you
him
did.
enormously, and I kind of was a bit disappointed. I felt that kind of the Brexit deal wasn't really the right deal, was the way that I looked at it. I think, and I think much of your administration had reservations about that deal. But we've got Rishi Sunak now.
But when I looked at what you were paying, I said, why are they paying so much? It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not involved in the deal. You do what you have to do. But you were paying tremendously for that deal. And I had another way of doing it. I told you the way to do it.
This was your advice to Theresa May, wasn't it?
I gave her advice. I said, didn't work out. They misrepresented. Do what you have to do. And I don't want to go exactly into it, but I would have recommended paying very little or nothing. Because, there was things that were represented that turned out not to be so. But she didn't listen to that advice, and look what happened. I think that I think Boris is a very good person, but I think he changed a lot in office. A lot.
Well, I think a lot of people finished up very disappointed. He's still got his supporters, obviously, and people like him. Rishi Sunak is bringing a level of stability, I think, to the job, whether you agree with the policies or not. He's bringing some stability.
I don't know him, but he seems to be, working very hard and doing a good job.
But Labour are in the lead. Sir Keir Starmer's Labour are in the lead. I guess after 13 years of the Conservatives, people start to think maybe a change. I don't know.
No reason to think that. I mean, if you stayed conservative, but they really weren't staying conservative. They were they were literally going far left. It never made sense. Now, I'm saying this as an outsider, but an outsider looking in, they were going far left. What were they doing? And now, maybe Labour's in the lead, maybe they're not. I don't know who's in the lead, but I can tell you they were not conservative policies toward the end.
Well, they look very similar in many ways, but Sir Keir Starmer's getting hung up on this question of what is a woman. When he's asked this question in interviews, he mumbles and stumbles and struggles to give an answer. So the question he struggles with, and everyone in the Western world seems to struggle with now, and we've got, again, another transgender athlete, this time a cyclist winning a big event in Mexico over the weekend. And the question Starmer doesn't want to ask, is sort of answer.
The big T subject we can't talk about on YouTube, so unfortunately we are on YouTube right now. But, yeah, the world has gone crazy. The world has definitely gone crazy. This is a pretty decent interview so far. It's actually a lot better than I thought Nigel was going to be able to pull off. So, Trump makes interviews good, though. He does. He just makes them good. He's got a way with people. He's a hustler. He's a hustler.
In any way at all, is a trans woman a woman?
So, look, when I see men participating in women's sports, when I see records being broken, like you say, the big event with the cyclist, and pretty easy victory from what I understand, I think it's very unfair. I think it's very disrespectful, actually, to women. I talk about it all the time. I don't do it for applause, but I will say one of the biggest hands I get is when I say we will not allow men to compete in women's sports. Weightlifting, swimming, running. It's so unfair. I think it's totally disrespectful. And the records are being broken. like sometimes by a lot. And I think it's a very bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, this actually appears to be at the moment maybe Starmer's Achilles heel, because we've seen with Sturgeon how public opinion changed on gender recognition. But, you know, I look at your life. You've got the best portfolio of golf courses anyone's ever owned.
And other things, you're right.
You've got a lovely wife, great kids, great relationship, wonderful life.
It's like, hey, don't forget all the other things. It's not just golf courses, my guy. I got a whole onslaught of good shit.
Been successful, you've got enough money to enjoy yourself and do what you want, and you're going to give it all up again to run for president.
Well, we have an interesting situation. Our country was doing fantastically well. We got hit with the gift from China, the China virus or COVID, whatever you want to call it. We rebuilt it back again. Our stock market was actually higher when I left than it was just pre-COVID coming in, which is incredible. We did a great job. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country, and probably in the history of the world. We probably had the greatest for that period of, a long period of time just before COVID came in, and then got it back again. And now it's really going bad. Our country is really in trouble. And I can turn it around very quickly. I have a phrase, make America great again. And I got hit with that a lot of times during the course here. They were saying, you know, make UK great again. So I don't know what's going on over here, but there's some people feel...
Well, I think we're copying a lot of the bad leads we get from America. And America is the leader of the free world. Whether people like that or not, it's actually true in every way. But, you know...
you are copying that. And when you talk about the transgender, when you talk about different things, you seem to be right behind us.
The commonalities are remarkable. And I think culturally, I think the countries are closer together now than they probably...
I don't know. That's a good debate. What do you guys think? Do you think that we follow them more when it comes to cultural stuff like that? Or do you think that they follow us? Or in which aspects does it go either way? Because I'm going to say the fruitcake shit came from over there. That's just my own personal opinions.
ever been.
Right now they're destroying our country. Our country is being destroyed very much like, I think to a much lesser extent, your country is being hurt very badly, but our country is being destroyed.
But they're trying to destroy you, aren't they? I mean, I saw that photograph of you. And I've met you before when you were going through tough times as president, when they just kept on you. And frankly, I don't know anybody that could have withstood it, but you did. You kept going right through.
And we had a great presidency. Look, I got the biggest tax credits. Take a look at what we did in terms of tax cuts. We got the biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history, rebuilt the military, created Space Force. We did things that nobody thought were possible to do. Had the strongest border we've ever had. Now we have the worst border probably in the history of the world. There's no country in the world that has a border like we have.
Yeah, 6 million.
Drugs were way down. People coming in illegally were at the lowest point we've ever had. We did a great job as president, and people want that back. Now you would say, why would you do this?
Yeah,
you won't be able to be back here for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And it was really, being at Turnberry was such a great thing, a thrill to see how beautiful and how magnificent it is. And, you know, our hand has been just more than just touching it. We did a real job here. And it is hard too, because, you know, you're running and you're competing against China, you're competing against everybody. We have a lot of danger out there. I believe this right now, the world is in the most dangerous place it's ever been in because of the power of weapons. And that includes nuclear, obviously. And we have a person in the United States that doesn't have a clue. And people say
Biden definitely doesn't have a clue. That is one thing that I've noticed with Trump lately, though, is he brings up the nuke talk like all the time. I don't think I've ever... Yeah, I think every speech, every rally, every interview I've seen him do, at least for the last month or so, he's brought it up every time. So this is obviously big on his mind, which is not a good sign. I don't think that's a good sign. I don't think that's a good sign at all.
Say, why do you want to do it?
Hey, well, while we paused it before we get it started again, why don't you guys let me know in the chat how you guys are feeling about this interview? If you had a question for Trump, what would your question be? Let me know.
Again, and I'm leading in the polls, as you know, by a lot, because people want that. They want back what we had. They want stability. They want the economy. They want jobs. We had the greatest number of jobs in the history of our country. We had everything was top, whether you had a diploma or you didn't have a diploma, whether you were a PhD from Harvard, MIT, the Wharton School of Finance, or you didn't have a high school diploma. Everybody was working. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American. We had the greatest, it was the greatest period of time, that period of time just prior to COVID. Until COVID came in, I got along great with President Xi. I got along great with President Putin. Putin never would have gone into Ukraine if it weren't for the incompetence of this administration, this current administration. Putin was not going in. It was never mentioned. And I knew him very well. I got along with him well and Xi well, and Kim Jong-un, I got along with him well. If Obama were president for a little bit longer, you would have had a nuclear war with North Korea, in my opinion, okay? I think in his opinion, too. He thought it was the most dangerous thing. I got along great with Kim Jong-un.
Now, Putin, today, they're saying there's been an attempted drone strike by the Ukrainians on the Kremlin. We don't yet know the full truth. Have you seen that story?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay, right. Well, you know, that's
a big story.
I mean, they're quite small drones, but let's see what
big story.
The truth of it is.
Yeah.
There's a growing, I sense in America, unhappiness about the money that's been given to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Why does nobody talk about peace and peace negotiations?
So if I were president, and I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours.
One day.
I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. I would get that ended in a period of 24.
You can break that deal.
100%. It would be easy. That deal would be easy. A lot of it has to do with the money. A lot of it has to do with the military, that we're giving. But I would get that deal done within 24 hours. That war has to be stopped. That war is a disaster. Yeah. And I'm talking more than money. I'm talking about the human life. It's far greater than anyone thinks.
There's a lot of people being killed.
You don't knock down a whole city and say 2 people got hurt. Right. Okay? Thousands of people are being killed in these cities that are being knocked down. Yeah. They're in those big apartment houses, and they are big buildings. I'm a very good real estate guy. I know what these are massive buildings. I'm actually surprised to see. And when you see those buildings just collapsing, thousands of people are being killed that nobody's talking about. That war has to stop.
Well, I think we'd all love to see that war stop and the threats end.
Full screen just in time for the commercial. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Look, we're going to get energy prices down. We're going to get taxes down. We're going to get interest rates down. Our country's gone crazy. Interest rates are through the roof. Taxes are through the roof. They want to quadruple taxes in the United States. Now, historically, that's been a very bad thing if you're a politician. We're going to raise your taxes. Think of it. We're going to raise your taxes, and they're supposed to win. The way they win is by cheating. And you have to learn by history. You can't just say, well, we're not going to talk about something anymore. I talk about positive. Energy's coming down. Interest rates are coming down. You're going to be able to get your homes again. Right now, people can't buy a home.
So this is the pitch.
Well, that's part of it. The economy was great, and we're going to have a strong border. Our border is pathetic. We will have, at the end of this year, 15 million people, in my opinion, come into the country. 15 million. That's bigger than New York State.
15 million people. I know that they've mainstream media has kind of bombarded us with propaganda about the border, that it's no problem throwing all these numbers. But if you sit and fathom this, like I live in a border town, right, in Arizona. The town is maybe 150, 200,000 people, right? 3 miles from my house, they say 1,000 plus a night, right? So 1,000 people, 365 days. You know what I mean? Multitudes of the population of my city are strolling across the desert. They're wandering through town in fucking huge herds of migrants. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And Biden doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. Let me know if we should take a live down to the famous Yuma Gap. The hole in the wall Biden won't close. They use as a giant door to let everybody in. Let me know if we should go check it out. It's close by. It's close by.
They come from mental institutions. They come from prisons, jails. They come from everywhere. We have no idea.
And some seeking a better life.
Sure, some seeking a better life, but how many? Look, if you look at the prisons, if you look at mental institutions all over the world, they're being emptied out into our country because we have an incompetent president. That man is incompetent, and it's a shame. And he's not running it anyway. People around him, a very smart group of Marxists or communists or whatever you want to call them, around them, that's who's running our country. He's not running the country. He's now in Delaware sleeping. He can't even come to your coronation as a country. Your coronation's a big event. Hopefully that won't take place for another long time. He'll live a good life and she'll live a good life and it'll be a long time. But that's a big event. That's a big event. And when you have somebody that's going to be sleeping instead of coming to the coronation as president of the United States, I think it's a bad thing. And one of the reasons other countries seem to be going now with China, it's crazy to think of it. You'll probably be next. When the president doesn't come to a coronation of the new king and queen of your country, how is that possible?
What the fuck is that?
The reason is he's sleeping. Shouldn't happen.
Final thought. Are you going to win next year?
I think we have a very good chance. The economy is not good. I'll make it good. Everyone knows. You know, everyone knows. Even Democrats, they say, well, we agree that Putin would have never gone in. He would have. I told him, you're not going in. Putin would have never gone into Ukraine. President Xi of China would never even be talking about Taiwan. We had that conversation strongly. I stopped North Korea from doing some really bad things, and my relationship with Kim Jong-un is very good. Who knows what's going to happen there? Iran was going to make a great deal. They were going to be happy. I was going to be happy. We're going to have a great relationship. Now they're out of control. They're totally out of control. This world is blowing up around us. It's blowing up around us. You may even lose the dollar as the standard throughout the world. And if you lose the dollar standard, that's like losing a war. In many ways, it's worse than losing a war. Yeah, I think we have a very good chance. I think when people feel it in their pocketbooks. Everyone's saying, you know, Trump's going to turn the economy around. I did it twice, if you think about it, because I did it after COVID. But we had the greatest economy in the history of the world, and I'll be able to do that again quickly and easily. Energy is going to come down. Interest rates are coming down. And you know what else? We're going to get rid of crime, because our cities, Democrat run, are crime-infested rat holes.
Donald Trump, thank you.
You know a crazy stat that I heard the other day? So we're ranked number 3 out of 180 whatever countries for, I don't know if it's just violent crime or if it's guns. I think it might be guns. So we're ranked number 3 for gun violence, right, out of all the countries. But in that same equation, if you pull out 5 of the major Democratic-run cities that are highly regulated for gun control, Chicago, New York, LA, I forget the other 2. If you pull these 5 cities out of the equation, we rank 3rd from the bottom. Safest countries in the world. One of the biggest, most diverse, most mixed countries is the safest if you take away 5 Democrat-run cities that are just shitholes. That's crazy.
For joining me.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's it. And that's all she wrote. Perfect time. Perfect kind of timing there. Perfect kind of timing. All right, guys. So thoughts. What did you guys think? This is the time. Jump into the chat. Let's chat it up. Let me know what you guys think. We definitely need him back. Hopefully, Trump 2024 is going to happen. That's what we're hoping. But who knows? It's a crazy world out there. It is a crazy world out there. Apple Whizzle Vlog. What's good? What's good? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, if he didn't win the first time and Clinton got in, our country, Russia would have taken over Ukraine then, obviously. We'd be in full-scale World War III, full economic collapse. Trump saved the country once by getting elected, and I am hoping that he can do it again. You got it, Apple. He needs to defeat Sleepy Joe. We need to defeat Sleepy Joe. That is facts. That is definitely facts. Well, everybody on the live, we're going to keep going. We're going to jump into some other content. You guys can recommend something, or I have a couple other things lined up I wanted to react to as well. But if you're checking this out later when we put it out as a video, I appreciate you guys stopping by for it. But you should be at the lives. Those happen Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3:30 to 5:30. I'm on rumble.com/McClures. We do YouTube when they're not fucking with me. We're also on Facebook and Twitch. But rumble.com/McClures is where we're trying to grow things. That's the future. YouTube is the past. But unfortunately, it's also the present. So that's why we're here. Shout out to Apple for tapping in on YouTube. Not to shit all over the streaming platform you're currently on. But if you haven't checked out Rumble, you should definitely do so.